welcome back to the Millie Fox Show. I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is for the high achieving woman, the overachiever, the recovering perfectionist, the one who has spent so much energy and time checking off all the boxes and making sure that you've done everything right. And yet something still doesn't feel right. Something feels off, something feels flat. It's just not what you expected it to be. So on this podcast, we're going to get really real. We're going to talk about self-trust. We're going to talk about self-compassion. We're going to talk about self-leadership, along with some juicy and delicious things woven, intertwined all throughout. And this episode specifically, we're going to be talking about why is it that your life looks really good from the outside, but doesn't feel how you want it to feel. Okay, so let's dive into it, because I've been in this situation, and it's not just something that you burn down your life, you start over, and then you never experience it again, right? This is part of being human. Part of being human is always needing to grow, right? That is our purpose on this earth, is to expand constantly. And so when we get to certain levels, we become dissatisfied. It's very natural. Okay, but let's talk about the experience of building a life that you literally wake up in the morning and you feel like you're already behind, right? You are constantly scanning your environment for what is not done or what you need to improve on. You are living your life literally monitoring what needs to be fixed next, including yourself. You're you treat yourself like a DIY fix-it project. And I've been in those shoes. I am a recovering perfectionist myself. And so sometimes I still put those shoes back on. And my experience was, I got married really young, and I was 19, and I got into this relationship that was rather volatile, but it was better than what I grew up with. So I thought it was on the right track. And I started checking the boxes, got the degree, um, worked on my fitness. The natural next step was to get married and then to have kids, and all the things along the way. We built something that looked really, really good, right? We got the dream house. We both had really nice cars. We went out and did fancy things. We had fancy clothes. All of the things looked really good. We went on big fancy trips, renting villas, and all of this kind of stuff that you think means that you've made it, right? But, on the inside of it, I never could feel truly present. I could never feel even truly grateful for it. I definitely had moments of gratitude when I would be, looking around at where I was sitting or standing and going, wow, like, look how far I've come from childhood where paper towel was a luxury in my home. When I first visited my ex's condo when we met when I was 19, I'd never been in a condo building before. Apartment buildings, yes, I lived in a basement apartment, and it was a whole new world for me. So, to say the least, standing where I was, I felt guilty that I wasn't more grateful for the life that I was living. And what I realized was that everything that I had done, from as far back as I could possibly remember, was from a place of pressure, was from a place of trying to be what I thought I was supposed to be. This image that I had created for myself in my head, but also for the people in my life, like my ex-husband. And, those expectations were not, you know, a secret. Let's just put it that way. So what I realized was that I was not me in my life because of this pressure. I built my entire identity from a pressure bubble. I remember this story of when I got a job at an integrative health office. I was doing nutritional therapy at the time. And I remember going to buy a new wardrobe, and all of the clothing that I bought was what I thought you were supposed to wear to a job like that, right? Nothing because I liked, nothing because it felt like me, simply because that's who I thought I was supposed to be. And I remember wearing those clothes and always feeling so strange. So this is just one example of the type of things that we do as women to earn approval, to be the good girl. And all we're really doing, the truth is that we are living not from a place of authenticity, but from a place of self-management. Our entire existence is based on managing ourselves, bracing for disappointment, bracing for criticism, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's not living. That is not what life is about. Like, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose right now. Exhale longer through your mouth. The longer exhales are down regulating. Relax your body, relax your face. I even notice myself, I'm naturally just tense my shoulders up when I'm sitting here talking. So I want to invite you to start noticing in your life where you are managing yourself, where you can start just allowing yourself to be. I still, throughout the day, I look at all of these little rules that I have for myself, these self-imposed limits and restrictions. And the feminine, the female does not thrive in restriction. We thrive in oxytocin. Okay, this is a huge thing. Our nervous systems are regulated by oxytocin. So moments of beauty, of connection, those warm, fuzzy feelings. So what I've been really, really leaning into lately is, oxytocin is prioritizing that over dopamine. So dopamine inducing activities are like, scrolling, any achievement, any reward based activity that you're doing, that is dopamine, a dopamine pathway. And then oxytocin pathways are, eye contact, connecting in conversation with somebody, touch, even self-touch. I don't mean the sexy kind, but that works too. But like even rubbing the back of your own hand or touching your fingertips together. It's about slowing down. It's not about doing less. It's just about not constantly being in a rush. So this is really just the beginning of starting to bring more presence into your life, because the reason why it looks so good but it doesn't feel good is because of that pressure bubble that you're living in. Because all you're focused on is what you haven't done, instead of living presently in the moment, juicy and deliciously in the moment. And you do that through what I'm labeling for myself right now as sacredness. I'm looking for just the ways that I can allow moments to be sacred. So, very, very simple example. I have a tea here and it's warm. It's a nice glass cup. And I can either mindlessly drink this tea, or I can let the experience be sacred. I can really put myself into the sensory experience of it. I can touch the cup and feel the heat on my hand. I can smell the aroma, some kind of a strawberry black tea. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I can put my intention into the tea for just say, I intend that this tea is full of abundance, and each sip makes me feel more and more abundant or connected, or whatever word you want to use. It really doesn't matter, right? The point is, there are so many mundane moments that we rush through, and it's not that it takes much more time. It literally just takes a few more seconds of intentionality and presence. And I know that the reason that that feels hard for you is because your nervous system is so fried, and the amount of pressure you're living in and self-management that you're living in, it really just feels like everything is extra. Everything is a burden. It's not like folding laundry is difficult. It's the pressure that we put on ourselves to always have it done by a certain day and folded by a certain day and put away by a certain day, or whatever it is about the laundry. It's not the laundry itself, it's the expectation that comes along with it that is stressful for you. So when we can start slowing down, when we can start living a little bit more magically and sacredly, because let's be honest here, like I gotta be real with you. The idea of mindfulness and living intentionally, like when I hear those words, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, cool. I'm not a monk, and I don't know. The mental picture I get when when those words come up is like some kind of like hippie from the early 2000s that talks too softly and and it's like, we need to live more mindfully. Wherever you go, there you are. It's also valuable, but we need it to apply to our lives. We need it to apply to our personalities. And honestly, like, I'm a sassy bitch. So for me, it needs to feel enticing. It needs to feel magical. It needs to feel sparkly. And for me, that's through sacredness. Because when I was a little girl, I loved that feeling of sacredness. I would go out into the garden and like, I don't know, dig in the garden expecting to find some kind of treasure, or I would bury something, or I would create a time capsule, or who knows, I would do spells and make potions, and I would spy on the neighbors. Like, all of these things just felt there was an element of mystery to them, of magic to them. And if we can just bring that into the day-to-day, it really will help you regulate your nervous system, because all of those moments of noticing the whimsy and the magic and the mystery, those are oxytocin inducing. They are showing you that it's safe to slow down. And that is self-leadership, right? And when you lead yourself that way, when you say, I am choosing to exercise my personal power, you begin to trust yourself more. And when you begin to trust yourself more, you trust the universe more. You feel more able to take risks. You feel like you have your own back. You feel like someone you can rely on. You feel confident in yourself. When you have confidence in something, you have belief in it, right? When we have belief in ourselves, we have belief that more is possible for us. And the whole thing just goes around and gets better and better. So that's what I am leaving you with today, is Don't focus on what you don't want. Don't focus on how you don't want to be. Focus on the feelings that you want to cultivate in the moment, because your life is built moment by moment. And the best thing you can do in each moment is connect to yourself, connect to something deeper than you. Those two things, connecting to yourself and connecting to something greater or deeper than you, are the threads that will create the life, the two threads that will create the life that you really do want to live. And a lot of women, they have this misperception that if they just had better time management or if they were more disciplined, that everything would feel better, that they would feel less stressed if they could just get to bed half an hour sooner, or whatever other self-management tool or rule that they're making up for themselves in their mind is going to be the thing that shifts it. But it's really not. We're going to get into that in the next episode. This belief that discipline or time management is the answer. But until that time, I'm going to leave you with this. If you got anything out of this episode, if you got an aha, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share with somebody you think would love it. I'd love to be able to reach as many people as possible with this. I want this to become a top 1% podcast. So if you believe that women deserve to be free free from themselves, free from the pressures of themselves, that yes, we were programmed. Yes, the patriarchy is real. And yes, it has a massive influence, but we do have the power to change it. And if you want to be a part of that mission at a grassroots level, then stick with me and tune into the next episode. Talk to you soon.